YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for Dragon Ball Daima Episode 4. As mentioned in last week's review, I will probably only be covering this series weekly for one more week after this, just due to lack of interest, and also because it's not necessarily the most engaging show to talk about week to week. I'm still enjoying it, and there's still things to speculate on, and that I'm interested in, and I'm sure there's going to be episodes with bigger stuff happening and stuff like that. But week to week, I feel like I'm having a lot of the same things to say, a lot of the same thoughts, so I do plan on doing an overall series review for sure when it's done, and possibly some check-ins when some big things happen. And I'm also trying to decide whether I want to switch over to the dub or not. The dub is like a week or so behind, and I'm planning on trying to rewatch the first few episodes within the week or so and see how I feel and which one I prefer, because in general I'm kind of a dub guy, but I gotta say I really have been enjoying Kid Goku's performance in this. You know, I came around to Goku's voice actor in Japan when I watched Super, primarily initially because of her performance as Goku Black, which was great. Although I just recently, for the first time, heard Sean Schemmel as Goku Black in Sparking Zero. I'm like, oh man, I missed out. He did great in that. But regardless, I think the most I've enjoyed the voice actress for Goku was as Goku Black, and then in this. Like, the voice just fits so much more for Kid Goku, not to mention him being a kid, even though he still has the mind of an adult, you know, because it's Goku. It just makes everything in his antics just flow more, and that's definitely one of the biggest positives I have about the show so far, especially in these last couple episodes, is Kid Goku is just a lot of fun to watch. Like, I can just tolerate the voice more and the personality more, and he just has this energy to him that you can't help but just kind of get swept up in my opinion. And just the fluidity of the animation and the way he jumps around, whether it's being excited about something or in combat, it was just a lot of fun to watch. In particular, this week's fight sequence when he fights like the demon troops. He's like going all around with the power pole, and it was just a really fun sequence to watch, and that's definitely been a highlight. Like last week I was thinking I'll probably will switch over to the dub, but watching this week I'm like, I don't know, I'm really enjoying this. I definitely want to watch a few episodes of the dub though, because I really do, or really am happy rather, that they are bringing back the original Goku voice actor. So yeah, that's a positive. I still am enjoying Kid Goku. We do finally kind of have a mission statement this week. I mean, obviously we know we're going to rescue Dende, but we're kind of getting a picture for what the structure of the series is going to be as Goku and Dende's kidnapped, Supreme Kai find out about the Dragon Balls from the Demon Realm, which we did already know about, like the Guardians from the first episode, but Goku learns about that they each guard a Dragon Ball, and it sets up the mission of like, hey, why don't we get these Dragon Balls as a challenge, and then we can rescue Dende and then go back to Earth and wish ourselves back. It's like a different version of GT. But it's funny because Goku finds out about this challenge, that there's basically warriors guarding them, and he instantly gets excited and forgets that they need to rescue Dende, but they do find a way to have it best of both worlds, Hannah Montana style. And it's funny because like Goku's energy when he finds out about this challenge and wanting to take it on felt very Ash Ketchum coded, like in terms of mainly reminding me of when Ash found out about the Island Challenge in Alola for some reason. I think that's just because it was different than the usual gym challenge, and I feel like Ash's character feels more in line with a silly Goku anime protagonist post X and Y. Like, Ash was always silly, but I really feel like they turned him into a generic protagonist after Sun and Moon, even though I really like the Sun and Moon anime. But this isn't a review for that. Regardless, I really do like that setup. I think that idea of traveling around and fighting these warriors for the Dragon Balls is this perfect setup for the kind of mix of adventure and fighting, kind of like the original Dragon Ball, almost, from what I remember, kind of went exactly back and forth, where one arc would be adventure, the next one would be more fighting based, like a World Tournament arc or the Tien Shinhan Saga and stuff like that. And that kind of sets the perfect setup where you can adventure around, meet different characters, have some fun side quests, and then have some fights and like focused fights on these particular enemies. So I think that's kind of fun. Something else that they did introduce is when they were getting, you know, because they lost their ship and they got this like seed thing that looked like a, you know what, to fly them closer to the ship, they found these bugs that work like elixirs in this world, and one of them is basically a sensu bean, and the other one acts like a fusion like device, which is really interesting. I'm curious to see how they use that. I feel like I'm almost certain they're going to do a Kid Goku Vegeta fusion, but I think it would be interesting if we got a third variant somehow. Instead of just doing like Bug Fusion Vegeta or Bug Fusion Gogeta, I think that would be kind of cool. Like, I'm hoping that if we do Goku and Vegeta for a fusion again, it's like a different variant, or we get something completely different. But I think it's interesting they're teasing that, and I can't imagine they won't use it. Like, I am looking forward to seeing like if and what new forms they might get in this series, whether it's some sort of Super Saiyan form or some sort of fusion. I think that was a kind of a cool setup. And then we also do meet our like fourth member of this little walkabout trio is this girl that comes to the defense of the citizens being under attack by the demons, and she hooks up with them at the end. I mean, not like that, but I mean like they meet at the end, which is funny because the pacing of this is very slow, which is fine. It's kind of reminding me of Gavin Away, which I do appreciate that they're taking their time, but at the same time with this series, I'm like, come on, let's go. Like, I want to see what the other characters are doing and stuff. But it is just funny when you do finally meet this character episode 4, but she's been in the opening, even though I only watched it once, but she's in the opening. It's just always funny the way that works because it makes you feel like you're behind if like the opening is ahead of you, if that makes any sense. But we kind of set that up, and I'm sure we'll get to know more of her next week. But overall, I did enjoy the episode. I thought it was a fun little adventure. I like that we kind of set more of the clear path for the rest of the series in regards to the arc, or at least for the next set of episodes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this quest is going to take us to the very end of the series, but it kind of set us on a new path. I was really surprised that we didn't check in with the other characters yet. I mean, I know we're only at episode 4, so it's only been 2 episodes of these characters adventuring without checking in with Vegeta and the others. But after last week was a solo Goku and Friends adventure, I assumed this week we would at least have 1 or 2 scenes showing what the others were doing, and I hope it's like that in the future. I don't want it to be one of those ones where, like, this is a Goku episode, and then the following episode is only a Vegeta and Friends episode. I mean, eventually they'll probably make their way to the Demon World, but I don't want it to be like The Walking Dead, where they like only follow certain characters in certain episodes. Like, I hope there's at least a couple episodes where we can go back and forth. Mainly because, as I mentioned, I think in the first or second episode, I think it was the second episode, is something I do hope to see is some of the antics from the other characters. Like, once we get Vegeta and Piccolo there and stuff, we'll have a lot of focus on them being in the Demon Realm. But I do hope we get a couple scenes in some form that flash back to the other characters, because that was one of the funnest parts of the series so far, was seeing stuff like young Roshi and just seeing the antics of that, taking advantage of that. So yeah, overall still enjoying the show, a bit of a slow burn, but what did you guys think of the episode? Forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.